Yeah.
I lost my face.
Cool faces because we're live now. All right. If you share that, Hobbs, if you just do a quick link share, mate, I will share it. We can all share it from there too. Let's do that. So
Nice.
we're live, but we're just doing our quick share. You know, you have to wait till the link's live, everyone. You have to wait. So you can hold on.
The admins.
You can hold your energy for a second. All right.
We're all here. We're all in the same boat. I'm going to share this. And I'll tag all you lovely people. Oh, Oxbox is in the chat. What?
Just resisting the massive millennial urge to write first.
Do it. And MC Zany's in the chat. Jadok, yes. Nice live stream, John. Yes, John. You saying?
All right. We're just sharing a link, people. I see it's all active. I just say it now, just so it doesn't become confusing. But there's a crossover. We are live. For the people that are following on my channels, I know I did a whole month of live and I said I'd take a break. Well, surprise, I guess. Surprise.
We got him out of retirement.
I didn't know we were going to stream on these channels, but we are. I won't be able to engage in the same way because it's not just my own personal stream. It's a whole podcast with legends, champions and stuff. So this is a UK Beatbox Champs 20-year celebration based live stream. We're live on my Beatbox channel on Twitch, but on the UK Champs channel. So wherever you're watching, the context will be obvious for you. I see we got a super chat. Is that on the UK Champs channel?
It is, yeah.
Ah, big up Martin.
Beatbox.
Supporting already with €10 to the UK Champs channel. That is awesome. Come on, Martin.
Legend.
Martin is a goat.
That'll be someone's pizza on the day. Thank you.
All right.
But yeah, we're just here streaming. We've got a lovely array of people. Look at all these fantastic beatboxers. And we're here to talk about, yeah, like Dilo said, 20 years of UK Champs, which is kind of a crazy thought. But way back in 2005 and now 2025, we had a couple of years off due to the world being annoying. But we are celebrating 20 years of UK Champs. And we wanted to do this stream of sharing experiences, nostalgia, and how the UK Champs, I guess, affected and inspired and, you know, worked for some of these amazing people. Like we have 6 UK champions in this call. We have organizers, we have a loop station, maestros, and everything in between. So yeah, I think everyone in this call have done every of the current categories that we have at UK Champs. We've all participated in at least one of those categories, which is.
Can everyone safely say they've lost a battle at least once? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's not just winning it first time and the first effort. You know. I always used to get pitted against my best friend in the first round 2 years in a row. And it's like, great, we both know each other's routines, and he always came down with another 20 more friends than me. So, you know, support means everything, people.
But that's it. I guess that's also how the UK Champs has evolved as well. Back when it started, the judges were mainly the audience judged, and then it slowly evolved into actual judges taking over from the audience, but still having that factor. And now, obviously, it's fully based. So it was all about who you bought, but it's still about who you bring because that kind of energy helps. But yeah, so we've got. I'm going to reel up and just say a big hello to everyone in the call. First off, you heard him speak first, and you're also on his channel, so you'll be like, oh yeah, that is him. We've got Mr. Mandilo inside the place.
Hello.
Give it a wave. Game show wave. And who else have we got? We've got co-organizer Rupert Aldrich, aka Base 6. Also,
hello.
Former original UK champion, part of the UK Champs team as well, Mr. MC Zany.
Yo.
And we've got the man himself, 2019. Yes, I got that right. UK Beatbox Champion, and possibly you had that title for a while due to certain stuff that happened in the world. But man, that ABH, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, maybe the longest running UK champ. I don't know, how long was it?
Take it out with Bull Z. Take it out with Bull Z.
You're getting the Guinness World Records. Then we've got the 2015 Loop Station champion, legend himself, Oxbox.
Hello.
Did I get that right? Yeah, 2015. Right?
Yeah, it was 2015. It's an
My memory's-
upsettingly long time ago, basically, is what we're saying.
Hey, dude, I won it in 2013, so
It was a world
I've got a couple.
And you beat me in
I've got a
2014.
couple. I did,
That was
yeah,
good. Yeah,
it's true.
2014 was my first year. That was good.
There you go, a long time. And last but not least, Bassmeister himself, the current reigning for at least 3 more weeks UK Beatbox Champion. It's Bass Ventura.
Yo, what's good? How we all doing?
And anything can happen. Late entry maybe for the champs, right?
We shall see.
But yeah, wicked. So yeah, like I said, the point of this call is we're going to have a bit of a chinwag, a bit of a chat, and talk about UK champs. Which, of course, if you don't know, and for whatever reason why you don't know, I don't know, but UK Beatbox Champs is happening 20th and 21st of September at Trinity in Bristol. It's the 20th anniversary Festival of Vocal Arts. We've got the UK Beatbox Champions, all the battles. We've also got some amazing stuff happening the day with talks and workshops, music careers, music tech equipment playground. There's all sorts of amazing stuff happening. So if you haven't got your ticket yet, then get your ticket, please. And yeah, everything in between. And of course, this year we've got extra things like the Battle Clock Beatbox Champs, which has come from Dilo's little mind there. Not little in that way. Your mind, your little
My
idea from
little
your
mind. That couldn't be more condescending. Was that the plan of this stream? My little mind. Cheers for that one, mate. Thanks.
I meant little
Some
idea from
stream.
your big mind. Some stream, John. Oh, right. Oh, apologies. But yeah, so we're excited for that, and I think you're excited for that, aren't you, Dilo?
Yes, that'll be sick. Yes, exciting.
Your little
stuff.
mind is very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And aside from a lot of the battles, we have got some incredible stuff to add this year as well. So anyone who is coming to the live event, you want to make sure you come down and enjoy the full day, because it's not just about the battles. We've got one-on-one careers advice. We've got careers talks, how to build your social networks, obviously with a few guest speakers. We've got a few masterclasses, and we've got this music tech playground as well. So there's a lot for people to interact with, but it's definitely a really good gateway for any musicians and especially beatboxers and any vocal artists to get involved with all these activities, which hopefully will develop their careers and give them a few pathways to something that they may not have thought of before. So that's exciting as well.
Yeah, lot to look forward to. But as of now, we've got some more exciting stuff. We've got some people in here who we'd like to talk to and talk about their experience and get some inspiration to those, and some, I guess, also looking at advice, right? And what you can expect if maybe this is your first time entering the UK Champs, or if you're someone like Pi, this is possibly your 20th or at least 15th time entering. He's had a lot of time, so yeah, he's hardcore. So
we
yeah,
do want to find out who has battled the most rounds ever. If there's anything like that, we can find out who has battled the most
someone
rounds.
Set up a spreadsheet. Someone.
Yeah. These are questions we need to find out and get histories of correct. You know, who's done the most minutes, who's done the most rounds, and who's lost the most, because that's always fun.
So first up, let's have a little chat. Mr. ABH, what you saying?
I'm pretty good, mate. How you doing?
Good, mate. Yeah, so I think I've got a couple questions just to run through and talk about your experience of UK Champs and how, your journey was with it, really. I guess.
Oh, you guys can hear me. On
First
stream,
up, when was your first
they
UK Champs
can't.
battle, and what process did you do for entering and all that kind of stuff? How did that come about, if you can remember?
What was the third year that that Ballsy won? Was that
2013?
Yeah, 2013. So that would have been the first year. And I got through the elims. Like, obviously I put in a wild card, went to the live event, got through the elims. And then I ended up faced up against Sid FX, who, like, I looked up to him a lot, man. Like, he had a video out on Swiss Beatbox at the time that was popping off.
Big up Sid
Like,
Effects.
yeah, man, Sid Effects in the chat. And yeah, I was nervous as hell, man. Like, it was like my second ever battle, and it's the first time on like a big stage. Uh, I'd only battled before in like a tiny battle called, I don't know if you remember Dirty Feet.
No.
No, it's an old battle. There was sort of Contrix there, Beatbox, Soundbites, B-Man or Ashmatic, if you know any of these old school names.
Yes, Ashmatic.
That was my first battle. I battled Contrix there. But yeah, that was my second ever battle versus Sid. And I was like stoked to beat him. And like super hyped to watch the videos back. And then there were no videos. I don't put in any fingers. I don't think you guys were even running the champs at that point, right? There were no
It
videos.
wasn't me.
There was only video of the
I can
final.
name and shame that person, but also, yeah, that is something. It's lost footage that's iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's
And
got it somewhere.
Someone recently said, it's so funny. Someone that I worked at the university, and this guy just dumped some footage on us. It was the Beatbox Champs this year. I was like, what? I was like, I haven't heard of that footage. I was like, where is it? And he was like, well, this is like 5 years ago. Like, anyway, but it was about 10 years ago. Anyway, we will every day pursue to find that footage just for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. I want it. I've been waiting a long time to see that. But yeah, that was it. That was my first battle with Sid Effects. Beat him, went through to Contrix, who absolutely smashed me in the semi-finals. I was just entering for fun at that point. I had no intentions of like making it to the final or anything like that. And as soon as I went up against Contrix, like I'd been jamming with him that year. I went in the tag teams with him that year, and we ended up facing, yeah, Mr. Hobbs and Marv,
Oh, yeah.
and getting smashed by you guys there that year as well. So, I mean, actually, that was my first year competing at the champs, but I already had a taste of like a final, so I had
Yeah.
I got to feel a little bit like, oh wow, it's only one step away from a title, actually.
That's it. So that was 2013, and then 6 years later, you worked your way up. And I remember was it 2018? I can't remember. You didn't end the 2018 champs, right?
2018, I
And it
took
was
one break, 1 year
you
break.
took a break off, and then you came back strong, and it was an epic final with someone else in this chat, and it was you and man like BV, Base Ventura, in the final.
Man, like Louis, yeah. I mean, it'd be a long time coming, man. I'd seen him scoping me out through the year. I was doing a show called Frankenstein at the time. He came down to a show, and we do sort of post-show battles. And I remember I was battling Renegade in that battle, but I saw Louis watching, and I was like, I'm not going to show him my battle rounds. But no, seriously, yeah, it was a long time coming, the battle. I think both of us prepared for each other, and we knew what was up. So yeah, it was a
Can
long
I add
road
to
to
that
get.
really quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
I wasn't scoping your rounds. Me and Chris were actually talking for a long time that we wanted to go and see the show. I'll have you know. But if you would have done them, I may have wrote a little bit down. Who would have known?
Yeah,
It was
no,
a
as
fun
soon as I
final, regardless, man. So good.
that was a crazy
then-
final, man. It was a mirror image as well of after the final with D'Lo, the same as with Louis. We're both sweating it out in the back, you know, like I don't know, I made all these mistakes. I reckon you got it. Nah, I don't know, man. I think you probably did a better drop there. And yeah, everyone's real humble here, you know.
Yeah. So what did it mean for you to win the UK champs title?
Oh, it's everything, man. I kind of put all my chips on that year, if that makes sense. It was sort of that year or no year. It seemed like, you know, the stars were lining up for me a little bit. Like I saw the sort of line up, and I made my battle plan, and I was like, actually, yeah, this is more achievable this year than any other time, and it might not ever be like this ever again. Just because I was in the right place, you know, I was performing constantly. I was touring. I had like mad stamina at that time. Had lots of places to practice my routines on stage to crowds. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was ready.
Sick. And then obviously after the UK champs title, you didn't come back and defend your title, but it was still quite the journey for you, and you also didn't proceed or go any further with the with the team thing as well, right? You did, I think 2015 was your last team.
No, yeah, me and Contrix just got sick of losing. It's something that I thought of making a new team, or me and Contrix have talked about getting back together. But I mean, I love Contrix, man. He's my boy for life, and I've got some good times with him.
Big
But
up on tricks.
he's a hard person to plan routines with. Because
So,
he has so
yeah,
much
right.
energy, and he brings that energy to the table in his solo beatbox, but it becomes a little bit difficult to plan, so we stopped planning.
Yeah, right. So I've got a couple of quick fire questions for you as well now. First one is, what is your, apart from your own battles, what's your most notable or favorite battle from UK Champs history?
From UK Champs, oh man, don't do
Solid
this to me.
question.
There's a lot of history, man.
That is on the
Was the
spot.
most notable?
Or just your favorite, like one that you're like, yeah, that maybe inspired you to want a battle, or it's one that you've seen since or
Yeah.
before, and you've been like, oh, that was a sick battle that
I mean, there's two, because there's one as soon as I got into the UK Champs rabbit hole. And I'm one of these guys, I like to start from the start chronological, so I delved backwards through all the videos, and I instantly saw clips of Beardy versus Faith. That was
yeah.
like one of the videos that originally inspired me to want to battle. It was only clips at that point. You guys have since released a full video, which like anybody
There is
can
a full
go check.
video, yeah.
Yeah, it's underviewed as well. Please, people go check it out. It's history, right? But and then yeah, I mean Reaps one versus Ballsy. It's obviously a big battle of titans. That was it was the year where I watched that online, and then I was like, next year I'm going to the UK Beatbox Championships. I got to be there.
Sick. Nice. Should we bring up, Dan, can we bring up that battle? The Faith and Beardy Man. You should be on, you should
Faith
be able to
v
find
Beardy
on,
man. Let me see what I can do.
yeah, it'll be on the UK Champs channel.
You know what, as well, that was a battle of two styles that I was most influenced by that time.
Yeah.
Like the sort of grime style of Faith, you know, coming from the
Yeah.
UK, you know, rap scene, and then Beardy Man just being a straight up joker.
Yeah.
Two things that heavily influenced me.
Yeah, I have it up.
Nice.
Any sections in particular you want to watch over?
I reckon.
Can we find the bit where Beardy Man's looking at his notepad and see his song
I
selection?
don't think that's this battle.
Okay.
See what's on his
Yeah,
notepad. See what it takes to win a final.
I mean, let's just click a couple of moments and see what we've got going on then.
Yeah, nice.
So, okay.
You might need to change the scene then.
Yes. So we got, all right, so it's Beardy Man versus Faith SFX at the, is this the first UK Beatbox Championships?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2005. Just for everyone in this watching this live stream, 2005. How old were you if you were even? All right.
Saved your life. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything. No, better than you. She about a girl, her name is Maxine. My beauty's a cool stuff for girls. Yeah, but my girl, I'm pretty Maxine. I'm gonna say I don't know what I know, but yo, Faith SFX. Faith SFX. Faith SFX. See the fate's about to meet your death, I said.
Such sick sounds, man. This routine is next.
It's how to combat someone like Beardy Man at that stage, where he's done everything. Reaction is huge. All the tunes at the time.
I'm gonna treat this guy more than a fiddler. I'm gonna treat this guy more than a fiddler. This is what it sounds like when I'm fucking your wifey. This is what it sounds like when I'm fucking your wifey. This is what it sounds like
Such
when
clean
I'm
sounds
fucking
as
your
well,
wifey.
man.
Yeah.
If you skip to the end of Faith's round, you go to his second round. Probably the next.
Right?
Yeah.
See, that's the clarity of just
Oh,
off the
this
camera.
pony.
Yeah. Just before, and he's just like,
Oh, actually, yeah. This
yeah,
bit's
he's like,
mad.
enough of the jokes.
Yeah.
Alright, man. Enough of the gimmicks and the jokes and the clowning around on stage, yeah? It's the real beatbox shit. Real artistic shit right now, yeah? Listen. You wanna hear me sing? You know I can sing in it. Listen.
You know I can sing, innit?
Yeah,
I'm just a bachelor, and I'm looking for a partner, someone who knows how to rhyme without even. Hey, who wants to hear it together, please? Tell me.
God, what, how good he
Listen.
was.
I'm just a bachelor, looking for a partner, someone who knows how to rhyme without even falling off. Gotta be competitive, continue to my limit. You don't no freaky new talk. I promise you won't try to do.
Yeah, nice.
Do you know how iconic that is? That no one does
Yeah.
it and has ever done it as good as that
No.
20 years
Mhm.
ago now.
I
And
was
he's
just that
like,
routine holds up today.
yeah,
Like
it's,
that could genuinely hold
Okay.
its own right now.
the accuracy of that is just ridiculous. Like, to think you didn't know in the moment, like, how good that really is, and time passes and still no one can get that accurate to it. That's so good. So ahead of its
It's a
And also
time,
they
it's a
didn't-
timeless battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a timeless battle, and they didn't really have a blueprint to go off. Like now, you've got so much like history and content to watch of different battles, different counters, different ways to do it. And I remember watching that and seeing, like you said, Alex, it's like having two of the best in the UK at the time, but then they'd never battled before. And then it's just suddenly got this clash, and you're just like, this is ridiculous. How they're replying, Beardy Man's got all this cheekiness and this silliness and coming with all this, and then FaZe is like, nah, bro.
Do you know what I noticed as well? This battle was one of the first battles where they were actually battling, because before that, each battler would just kind of perform to the crowd and do their rounds to the crowd rather than battling. And this was, I remember watching it, I was like, oh right, they're actually battling each other, they're getting in each other's faces. And that was kind of the first of its kind, which kind of set a precedent to how people battle nowadays, which is really interesting.
And you were there as well, Zany. You were battling there.
Yeah, I lost to Beardy Man in this one.
Yeah.
Ah.
There you go. You
I was
lost,
out
you
first
lost the
round.
person who won. So
I was our first round to Dr. Rhythm that year. But that's exactly what you say. Like the
Heaps.
range, the range of what each of them do in those sets, the theatrics, the actual one-on-one battling and jousting and the soundscapes, as well as putting tune after tune after tune after tune, when some people might just nowadays go with one particular metronome. This was switching it up and switching it up. And those routines are absolutely legendary, I think, just because.
Shout out to Reeps1 in the chat. Said Zany beat me at my first final. So mean. I thought he was nice.
Everyone thought that Zany was nice until he beat them in the battle. It's
Don't worry,
incredible.
Reeps, you beat me as well, so it's fine. You got your own back, and it was against me. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was against Pete first.
But it's like in a situation like that, where you say suddenly Faith SFX drops this musicality over. I'll be honest. That first year, I wanted Beardy Man to win because I thought in all his rounds building up, the variety and just the stage presence was incredible. Whereas, Faith was known as this musical, grime, hip hop music. Like that's what is his strong point. But he still put in theatrics and Godfather theme tune and all the voices and sound effects that I think all those components are what makes you win a battle.
And the formats are a lot different back then.
Yeah, the old debate.
Yeah, that's it. But the formats are different then as well. I think most rounds were 1 round each, and then the final was the only one that had 2 rounds or something like that. It was very different. It
was only like a minute as well.
Yeah, it was a minute, and there wasn't.
I think heats. Yeah, I mean they were different heats. I think you got one round versus 1 round, and then I think when the finals it was starting to get to 1 minute, 1 minute 30, and then was it 2 minute? It can't have been 2 minute finals back then, was it?
I don't think it was 2 minutes back then, but it did get to it later on. But
Does anyone know who was judging that event?
I think it should just go up a minute
was
every year. So it's just we go 25-minute finals now.
It was, and again, you can watch at home as well on the UK Beatbox Championships website. But on the history, I pulled this up earlier. It was
that year was Bilo, Killer Keller, and Tight.
Yeah, incredible.
I'm basically a unofficial UKBC historian.
And Shlomo, I think, was on the judging panel as well.
Well, Shlo was this is when SK Shlomo was organizer. The original creator of UK Champs was he at the time was judging as well. Shlomo.
No, I don't think they were.
Just organizing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, solid. But again, it was also down to the crowd as well. And you had the legend Doc Brown, legendary rapper comedian, who was hosting, followed by, I think, the following year was Pav from Foreign Beggars. It was 2006 year. But yeah, legendary times.
Yeah,
legendary times.
First champions.
That's it. 20 years ago, man. All right. Last question for you, ABH. Your last lovely question, and this is why am I your favorite UK beat? No, name your top 3. Your top 3.
Why? Don't ask.
Who would you say from the UK Champs history, battle history, your top 3, either inspirations or favorites?
Top 3 inspirations, just from UK.
Yeah, just from the UK Champs, and it can be from anything, any category. Doesn't have to be a solo beatbox. It can be a looper. It can be a team.
I mean, the first 2 is obvious because I just mentioned them being like the first video that I watched. Yeah, obviously Faith and Beardy Man, because they were also literally the first. They were what took me into the rabbit hole of UK Champs, because I saw Faith SFX doing his pony video. I saw Beardy Man doing his kitchen. Kitchen whatever, you know the one. Yeah. So then it was looking for videos of them that led me into UK Champs. So it has to be them. And then Reeps on, because he was winning at the time when I started watching. I was just like, okay, that's the guy. Is it all right? That's the guy I got to train to beat.
He was busy beating me.
Thank God. Thank God he wasn't still around when I competed. Anyway.
Nice. That's a solid choice, man. Well, appreciate you and appreciate the legacy that you've given as well, because it's like obviously inspiring for. I do have one more question to ask actually. That's not as on quick fire and on the spot, and should be a bit easier to answer. But I think it's inspiring for people to see, because like you said, you entered first time in 2013, and then you didn't get the title you battled throughout the years and you didn't get the title till 2019. So last thing from you, if you have any advice or tips to give to anyone battling this year, whether it's their first time or not, what would you say as a former UK champion?
Yeah, I mean the beatbox scene has come a long way now, so it's quite a lot less likely that people are just going to come out of nowhere, right? I think it's a marathon, not a sprint. So like, you know, if this is your first year entering the UK Beatbox Championships, probably be really happy if you in the eliminations, in the battles or anything. Just like probably be really happy and enjoy it, enjoy the ride, like enter for having fun and those like mad moments in battles that don't happen anywhere else. But you know, as you get through your beatbox career, obviously you set your goals higher, and I think it's just really important for people to have an objective in mind every year that they enter.
Yeah.
Is this the year where I'm going for first or nothing? And I don't really mind if I go out in the semis or quarters as long as I'm trying to save my stuff for the final. Or is this the year where I'm finally going to make it through to the battles? I'm going to give everything in my elimination round. I'm going to make sure, you know, just having a really clear goal mindset will really help you, you know, feel like you achieved what you wanted to rather than just sort of vaguely going in there like,
Sick. Well, big up, man. Thank you. And yeah, big up for being part of the journey. And it's always a pleasure to see your lovely face.
cheers, guys. You guys too.
Wicked, man. Nice. All right. So moving swiftly on, we're going to move to Mr. Oxbox, former Loop Station champion. How you doing, man?
Hello.
Nice. So yeah, we're kind of taking a different turn from solo battles. You've never been a solo beatbox battler.
Oh, have I not?
But
Not
you
for
can,
the
you
UK
know.
champs.
Yeah. Oh,
At the
hang on a
Welsh
minute.
champs, however,
There
my
you go.
2 and only solo battles, luckily no footage of which still exists. I know I can see Han in the chat. He'll remember this. I think the first battle,
Big up Matthew Han.
I went really into it. Because Loop Station, you get less of the kind of battle element. You get more of it now, but certainly at the time it was more like what the solos used to be, where you perform and just see kind of how people reacted. But so I kind of got like really into it and had like a little bit of attitude. And this poor 16-year-old kid who was his first battles as well kind of came up and basically nearly made him cry on stage, and then felt really bad. And like he tried to end his time early, and so instead kind of I went and like hyped the crowd, like got the judges to like reset the clock and like got everybody, because like for me that's what this community, this championship, this like all the festival around this has always been about, is that element of community. And and I realized at that point that I never really wanted to take that aggressive stance in battles anymore. I was always going to celebrate the other person on stage with me. And so every time I've been on stage since then, you'll either see me dancing like an idiot in the background or just enjoying what the other person's making or getting the crowd up as well. Because as far as I'm concerned, like if one of us wins, we all win. We were talking a little bit before before the live stream started about how you know, like gigs and festivals and things, where things gone and things have dipped a little bit. But if we all keep pushing ourselves out there, supporting each other, bigging ourselves up, that will only get bigger as time goes on. So yeah, so whenever I'm in champs, if I ever compete again as well, I will definitely be keeping the same mentality. Just enjoy yourself up there and always big the other person up. Yeah, have a bit of fun as well. You've got to have a bit of banter up there too. But of course, yeah, don't let it come. Don't get too into the aggression of it.
It's always been one of the most complimentary scenes. I mean, it's always been high fives, and everyone has always, you know, shown love as well. You know, again, there's the element of competition and disappointment, but even, you know, as the Beatbox Collective, some of our best compliments actually have always been like, you just compliment each other. It's like, yes, because we love what each other does, and you know, everything is amazing and everything is subjective to who wins or not. It is just really exciting to support everyone. So yeah, big up Oxbox.
So, and what inspired you to enter a Loop Station battle? Because I think, your first one was the 2014?
2014, my first year.
Which was the second year. It was introduced in 2013.
Yeah.
And That was with me and Mr. Formula.
Mr. Form, yeah, good old Ed, yeah.
Legend.
Yeah,
Another
representing
Welsh
Wales.
beatboxer. Big up. Yep. And then 2014 you entered, and yeah, what inspired you to enter and as a looper?
Yeah, I mean, I got into beatboxing really, really late and through a really weird route. So I sang with a cappella groups at uni and learnt beatboxing that way, and very much like just trying to get a bass and snare heard over 14 other people singing. And when I left it, there was just a big gap in my life that I'd found musically, and then suddenly wasn't there anymore. And I think it was Mr. Tobias Hoog, actually, our dearly departed friend, who introduced me to live looping, and I bought an RC50. I had an operation on my wrist, which meant I couldn't. Oh, and like a bone graft on my hip, which basically meant I couldn't move for like 3 months. So I was just like, I'm just going to do music for this whole time, and I just played and mucked around with the RC50 for like that whole time, and then found out online that there was this like the Boss loop station things, like Shlomo was doing it at the time. So entered that and like had fun with that, and then yeah, Toby mentioned like, oh no, come to the UK Champs. Like it's much more of a kind of community thing, like less of a kind of competition that the Boss one really was. And yeah, and
I remember the Boss Champs. Yeah.
And he said just enter and you'll just have fun with it. And yeah, in 2014, and yeah, and I got through to the final in 2014, which was nuts. And I also did not have anywhere near enough material to get that far.
But you still managed to dance and cheer for everyone with a bust up hip. So
just about. Dance is a subjective term there, but yeah, and I did, I think one of my own songs that I entered into the Boss Loop Station Champion in the eliminations, and then did not expect to go through. And I just had a whale of a time. But by the time I was final against you, Hobbs, I think I had one song in the tank, and I'd run out of material. So whatever, luckily the footage is all gone from that year. But whatever I did for my second round against you was just totally off the cuff, no plan whatsoever. But it was fun.
I've got a question for you, Mr. Oxbox. Say you're coming late into the beatboxing scene, how would you say your singing helped you with your looping? And seeing as you didn't develop your beatboxing sounds as much until later on, did the loop station unlock a different form of creativity for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think initially I came into live looping purely from a vocalist perspective, like kind of layering, like looking at it from the a cappella, and the beatboxing was just supplementary. It was just something that I added in just to have a bit of rhythm and interest into it. And then when I came to the Champs and saw how other people were doing it and coming at it from this kind of rhythm perspective and with a beatbox first way of building the sound through it totally transformed the way I was looking at it. But as well, if there are any kind of like older beatboxers out there who are getting into it first time as well, I would just say like don't be intimidated by like the age difference. I think like the first battles and people I was up against about, there was like nearly 10 years like age gap between us. But it's, as I said, it's always been such a welcoming community. No one really gives a crap about where you're from, who you are, how old you are. And I mean, it'd be interesting to see what the age gap is now between the oldest and youngest competing this year, because I think we've got Pi, who's love you, man, but like on the kind of the higher end of that number, and then you got people who are kind of like 16, 17 down in the under 18.
Well, I think even in the looping category this year, I think there's a big difference. I'm not exactly sure, but I know Rico, who's into the loops, is definitely a lot older than someone like Orange, or who else is in the loops? Yeah, someone like that. So it's going to be exciting to see what they bring. I mean, the wild cards, obviously the loop station format this year, again, come from Dilo's brain, the new format for the looping, which I'll let Dilo speak about a bit as well and some thoughts on it. But yeah, it's interesting to see. And I think that has, because of having this format, it's brought a range of loopers and new faces that we haven't seen before. So yeah, if you see...
So the beauty of that is the music is invisible, and again, if you were on a radio and looping, would someone know the difference between if you were 15 or 55. If you were male or female, you know, obviously with the added effects, you know, the illusion can be there. But again, what is, you know, it's so subjective to go like, what was better if you knew that that was someone of a different age doing something, as the music transcends through everything.
And yeah, again, like as we just saw from like watching the Faith video as well, like their routines from 20 years ago, which hold up today as well. Like the way things grow and shift and change, and things come back into fashion and go out again. It's been fascinating being part of this world for so long to see how it all changes. I did love, I have to admit, when even the solo stuff started getting more musical, when you had people like Gene come onto the scene, and yourself, Dan, where bringing in like these, you were creating songs with the solos rather than almost making the loop station redundant at that point. And then the loops grew even further beyond that as well. It's just, yeah, it's nuts what's coming out of the scene these days.
Question: If you'd entered this year with the new category, which looping type would you be?
So I've been a bit out of it. I don't know what the new categories and the new format is.
So, Dilo, do you want to fill in the stream of what's in case they don't know about this new format?
Yeah, go on then. Great gateway.
Yeah.
So what they're referring to is the category system that's in the UK Champs this year. It was an idea to balance all the different types of looping into one competition. So what you noticed over the last, let's say, 12, 13 years is there's different rules that there's been for loop station battles. And there is no right rule. Like everyone there can be a looper that has their right rule in their head. So we found like 5 divides that kind of hit a rule set that's been created through the years. So all 5 of the types have been implemented at one point. Now, what that means is that any artist that wants to enter the loop station category now can pick which category they are, and then they have their rules put on them for what they are using. So it's contextual. So for example, if you are category 1, that means you're entering with no effects. So just beatbox and vocals. And if you design an entire round that way, how good is that out of 10? And then so if someone can smash that 9 out of 10, and then someone has all the gear but not as much idea, they get a 7 out of 10, let's say, and they've got 3 devices and a MIDI controller, and it was great, but it was only a 7 out of 10, then the 9 out of 10 performer will win. And so that's how everyone can enter in their rule set. So category 1 is no effects. Category 2 is the loop station and its built-in effects. No more. Category 3 is that plus a MIDI controller to help speed the workflow up. Category 4 is the loop station, but also with devices. So you can also have devices. And then category 5 is Loopy Pro on your iPad, which is it's a software loop station that has its own VST plugins, and it's the most optionable one. But then you'll be judged in relation to the one you're using, and so therefore the judges need to juggle how good were they with the tools they had, and it just means that every category of looper can be involved. Yeah,
that is brilliant. Yeah, I have to admit, that's the thing I struggled with as time went on, where the technology changed, but I didn't. And I've always, I mean, I would be a category 1 hands down. I think that's where the interest lies for me. Like it's human music, like what I'm able to do with this and this, and what I have on me, and I've deliberately played into that over the years as well. I think there's someone asked, I think like Cam asked in the chat, like who would love to have faced off against most, and for me, 100% Frosty. I was gunning for that. Was it 2017? I think it was. For like a me Frosty final, and Guru just comes out of nowhere and sweeps the rug out and absolutely smashes it. He's brilliant. But I had a plan against Frosty about what I was going to do, which was I attempted something similar against Balance the year before, to like really restrict it and bring it back to deliberately play into the fact I'm using no effects as well. But yeah, I had a bit of an arrangement that would have been a killer that year, that I was saving for Frosty and never got the chance to use. And that's another bit of advice for anyone competing as well. It's like if you're going into it, if you're not like kind of shoe in favorite, or you have all killers, no fillers, you just gotta go hard. You've got to come in with your best material if you want to have fun and progress. You never know what's coming in and who's going to bring what against you as well. Yeah, that I held stuff back that I shouldn't have, and ultimately someone
and it's
comes
hard.
in.
It's hard in Loop Station as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like...
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good fun though.
So you'd be category 1 then.
100% category 1.
Then
I'd be tempted by category 2 because I feel like I've unlocked so much on the 505 now that that I would be tempted. But there's still that love of just the pure a cappella and pure vocal and beatbox that I love doing. I still occasionally crack out the old RC50 just to deliberately restrict myself and go back to the roots.
What's interesting about this year, as Dan said, with the categories, you'll be judged on your skill within that category. In the wildcard competition, Frosty got first place, and he is using Loopy Pro exclusively and knows it very well and smashing it. And then second place in the wildcards is Epos, who is raw no FX. So it's really exciting.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
So the spectrum was hit in the top 2. That's cool.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It kind of proves the system in a way.
Yeah.
The exciting news is we've got Loopy Pro as one of our partner sponsors this year. So, which again, at the end of the day, this is the new technology that is developing loopers worldwide, like non-stop. And again, the competition from where you started, Scott, where it was no effects, dry, to
it was frowned upon.
We tried it for the first year of like going, right, because we wanted to keep it strict and we wanted to have the discipline of beatboxing, come through. But absolutely, as Zane said, again, someone coming from an a cappella or a completely different style of vocal arts, that's where, we couldn't, especially when we'd seen the worldwide scene using effects, that's where we couldn't not stop it. You can't hold it back.
Yeah.
And thanks to that, I have to say, every year in this new competition format, this is a great way to judge those comparisons. So big up Dilo, but yeah, big up Loopy Pro for being on board this year, because that is just amazing to have the support from them, and we'll see lots of them at the live event too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's super exciting, and I think to take a tiny tangent, I'm not going to go too far off the course, but Scott, you excited me with that question from Cameron. Big up to Cameron, one of our solo competitors for 2025, representing again. He asked a question which I'm going to ask to actually everyone in this chat. I'm going to ask one by one, which is, in respective of the years that you won, who would you have liked to face but didn't have the chance to? So Scott, you already answered with Frosty. I'm going to go round my order that I've got on my screen. Zany.
Going back now, I'd have liked to have battle Faith. That would have been fun.
Yeah, that would have been a sick battle, man. That would have been a really sick
great battle.
Because I guess his style, like coming from hip hop R&B background, and it was relatable. So that's why when the forums were going on, a lot of his routines, I had similar routines, and I remember him thinking, "It's like, oh, you bit my routine." It's like, no, we just listened to the same music at the time, and we were from the same scenes, same relative scenes. So yeah, I had a pony cover as well. I had like all similar hip hop covers, but obviously he did them a lot better at the time. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Faith would have been sick.
Sick. I would have loved to see that. I think you would have complemented each other very well. Who's next on me? Dilo.
I just had a quick think through it. To be honest, like I think I got to take all the right people on in the ones that I won, the ones that I won. But like, to answer the question in like a slightly different way, there was a 1 year gap crossover between me and Ballsy, and me and Ballsy turned up in the top 16 in the World Championships 2015. Well, so we nearly and by the way, so my answer is Ballsy. If I'd beat Korean Effects, the legend back in the day, if I clinched that, we would have got our match up. But it would have been Ballsy. I would have loved to have taken Ballsy on that. That would have been probably the best one in relation to that.
That'd be a sick battle.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. That would be sick.
Maybe we should have this as a category, like maybe the 25th or 30th, like the fantasy battles,
legends battle.
Yeah,
the battles you want to see.
I'd love to do it. Love to do it. Base 6. Who would you have in your years? Who would you have liked to battle that you didn't get to battle?
It's tough. Obviously, not Dr. Rhythm 2 years in a row when we trained and practiced
He
and
beat me
showed
as well.
each other his. He beat you. Oh my god. Because do you know what? We both wanted to battle you. He was. Do you know what? I think, and again, when we were preparing as a team, and again, it's great to have a sparring partner.
Yeah,
But
true.
you were definitely, when you say a target or a challenge or a rival or what would beat you, and I did, and if this is a video we've got somewhere, did he laugh box you back?
I think so. Yeah, he did that. He did an
Elmo. There you go.
Laugh,
Yeah. I mean, again, he
got me.
He had the Elmo thing as a routine, and everything, but obviously that little combination in theatre and the call and response.
Yeah.
Did he go second? Do you remember?
That's a good question.
Because again, on a battle like that,
might have actually.
That little take from someone or that one up is the huge advantage.
Yeah.
Which still, if you get the coin toss, you go first, you go second. What's the way it's that? But I think Hobbs, I don't know, you beat me once, maybe twice in other battles.
We battled at that Brighton battle, whatever it was called.
Yep, you kicked my ass there. I remember that. No, it was literally, it was like, I had routines, but I remember, did you do a Nottingham heat as well?
Yes. Yeah.
And you might have won the Nottingham heat.
Thing.
Yeah, and it's the same thing as Zany said, like, with Faith SFX routines. Zany had a few similar routines like that. Same with a guy called Lionheart. But Hobbs, you came up.
Yes.
You did. I had a piece of paper. I always have my pen and pad and paper and everything. And you did bonkers, and you had some, and I was like, the 2 or 3 tracks I had like that, you had down as well, but we didn't challenge each other. And it's one of those things where someone does one on the night and then you do another version of it. But we didn't quite get to battle at those champs. But yeah, you whipped me in Brighton.
I'll take it.
Yeah, you whipped me in Brighton. But yeah, I think that was who we wanted to battle. So again, out of the 2 of us, because I never got that far, Dr. Rhythm, hey, good to know we got a victory.
Yeah, that's it.
Again, how many times have you lost? You've got to just keep tallying this.
Yeah, that's it. All right, Bass Ventura.
Sorry, my mouse disconnected then. I've had to think about it. My mouse, it's Bluetooth, it just turns off for some reason. I keep trying to think of different people, but it just keeps coming back to Epos. I'm surprised that we've not matched up, and I love Epos's style so much. I would
How
love.
have you never matched up?
Because it was Alex, it was ABH in 2018, no, 2019, and then it was Ray Clap in 2024. So yeah, we've never matched up, but yeah, Epos is definitely there.
That's a solid
We've
one.
got to set some of these up, guys.
Some battle that will be.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of mine. I think mine would be ABH, to be fair. I would have loved to battle ABH when I was still battling. I think we've got similar battle energies. Would have been fun.
Cool question from Cameron.
Yeah, big up Cameron. Big up. Wicked, man. Thanks. Yeah, big up Scott. Thank you, man. I think we got some interesting intel, and the last thing I just wanted to ask you, what kind of bring up as well, is something you mentioned in conversations we had a while ago, which was just about what UK Champs means to you. And I think you said something along the lines of, it's such a big part of your life, an important part of your life in, in meeting people and meeting friends and meeting all sorts of people, and just what UK Champs means to you, and what it's kind of done for you.
I think it's kind of summed up by my first year. When I'm well aware that I'm not your stereotypical beatboxer, right? I started beatboxing when I was 20. I've always been kind of growing up like interested in music and doing things, but very much like was the nerd of the bunch, was kind of bullied as such for being so, and various things that, regardless of whether it was sport or music, there was always that element of competition or ostracization or being othering that was going on. And for that reason, I think Toby tried to convince me to go 2013 UK Champs. So I was like, no, because I'm gonna go there and be like, oh, you posh. No, I'm not gonna swear, but like, yeah, you know, get lost. And then he convinced me to go in 2014, and I remember meeting, I think it was Mr. Formula, Ed, Dean,
Yes.
and Han, like the Welsh crowd. And the moment they found out I was from Swansea as well, they were just, I literally just found brothers for life in that first like hour of being there, and that continued every year since then, like in terms of making friends and connections and people for life. And the entirety of my musical career, such as it has been, stems in some way from the people I have met through the UK Beatbox community. It's not like anything else I've ever experienced, to be honest.
That was lovely. Thank you. Now I'm gonna go and cry happy tears. No, but big up, man. You've been an important part of UK Champs, more than what some people know. So yeah, big up for you and for everything that you brought. So appreciate you, and hope we get to see you in Bristol, if not somewhere soon. But yeah.
I'm hoping so too. I'm definitely going to be back in person at some point. It's hard with the two small kids, but no, that's it's when I can bring them along with me. That's the exciting thing. They're both beatboxing already, so it's only a matter of time.
This year is 14 plus, but you know, we do try to make it family friendly. But also, it's the fact before the call, actually, ABH was talking about looping, and I'm sure you were just rubbing your fingers with your your return, and you as a dad will be on stage taking on ABH for the loop final sometime. That's amazing. But honestly, yeah, absolute pioneer of what we do in the loop station. Zany touched on it earlier. You open it up for more people than you know. You know, again, you don't just have to be a solo beatboxer. You've got to have more to your palette as a vocal artist. And again, bringing the a cappella world, which you have done, you've brought so many vocal groups and singers and inspiration, and connected that scene to the UK Beatbox Championships. So it's more than you know. And yeah, thank you, Scott.
No, thank you guys for keeping it going.
We're trying.
We're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. It's fun. Cool. All right. Who talks next? I feel like we have a little bit of Zany chat. He looks ready and waiting. Switch it up for some bonjour, salut.
Nappy challenge.
Yeah, man. So you being one of the original UK champs, 2008 UK champion. Sorry, but it's still UK champ is a UK champ, man. So it's a big thing to have. And as we saw in the chat, Reeps, you beat Reeps 1 back then.
Mad.
How's it been for you? Obviously, going from being a young'un, battling for the first time in 2005, well, battling in the UK Champs the first time in 2005, and across those years, and then winning in 2008, and seeing the evolution, and now being part of the organization team and everything. How's that been to see the development?
It's been sick, because coming from the era I did, you were in this kind of gap between like there was no social media as it is now, so the internet was still in its like forum days. So being part of the forums was such a special time. Like I think I still remember my username was like MC Zany 2002 or something like that. And
I think it was, I remember.
Yeah, and being on humanbeatbox.com and only seeing people's comments and seeing their audio clips that only lasted like 30 seconds because you had to share it to ShareMation, and it would take like 5 hours to upload like a 30-second clip of audio, and there'll be these like MSN chats full of about a few hundred beatboxers, and it was still very young in its way of sounds developing, and you got a lot of unique beatboxers. Some I don't even know if they still beatbox. I can't remember their names now, but the sounds you were hearing was so unique. And I mean, this not to say that they're not now. It was just that you were hearing them and you couldn't see people replicate them in their mouth, so you had to kind of work them out or not work them out, because it was just sounded like aliens on the microphone, and it's just these audio clips and very few video clips. And then coming to see the live event, I remember just going to the first one. I think the first unofficial one was 2004 in Leeds. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like the human beatbox tournament, and didn't just realizing the scene was alive and bubbling, and knowing that there was other weird people like me that made noises out of their mouth was really reassuring, and showed that there is a place for it, and seeing how the styles were developing. Like I came from, like I was saying, a hip hop garage background, but then seeing other beatboxers doing completely different genres, it kind of blew my head off, because I was like, wow, there's so many unique styles that are being nurtured from such a young age. But and I guess like the transition into like the more modern era of beatboxing, I think it was another explosion, because when social media kind of started in, I guess, 2010s, 11s, the Facebooks and the Twitters were starting to develop, and more beatboxers were popping up, and all these sounds people were picking them up quickly. Before it would take you a long time to work out some sounds or a specific sound, but you were getting these beatboxers now that were just developing in what would usually take a year or two. They were developing in like a month or two, because of the accessibility, and it was just amazing to see a hungry scene evolving into what it is now. And and I think that journey from being a fan to a battler to a winner and then to an organizer, so I've kind of seen the steps, and kind of seen seeing it now from like a bird's eye view. I'm really proud of what the scene has become. Also, this obviously it's still got lots of work. We're still a very young art form. We're still a toddler, but the way we are reaching out and still trying to keep it alive, and because it is alive and it is thriving. But I think because of people like us in this stream right now, we care about the scene a lot, and we want to always make it reach its highest potential, and it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, and a lot of a lot of grit, and a lot of struggle,
Sleepless
nights, and I think a lot of people that that are on the outside, the youngers watching, and the younger people that are getting into the scene, don't really know what it takes to build a scene, and have just come off it and seen the scene already developed, and won't not necessarily know all the trials and tribulations it's taken to get to this stage. So
100%.
so for all the youngers that are coming to the event for the first time, just know that it's got a lot of history, and there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into it, through it's passed through ownership from Shlomo to Jim Wild, and to now Hobbs and Rue, and it's taken this 20 years it's a long time, but it's still 20 more years to go. Let's go.
Yeah, it's massive span from humanbeatbox.com, from King of the Jam, the originals of crews, which
beatboxing.co.uk.
Beatboxing.uk, which Dino found out the other day. What was Hobbit's first beatbox name?
Can you remember?
Beatbox, not, I was about to say Beatbox England. Beatbox UK. Beatboxer.
Oh yeah, Beatboxing UK.
Beatboxing UK. That was my forum name.
Yeah,
that was going to be my beatbox name.
This is like,
we've all got these stories. Backflip.
shout out to everyone. But even the other day, we just saw on Instagram the guy who set up humanbeatbox.com, a guy called Alex Chu. He set up the $1 million website, and which was absolutely huge.
$1 million homepage.
$1 million homepage. He now runs. He set up the Calm app. But he's Silicon Valley stuff, but was the most incredible beatboxer. And I'm sure, Hobbs, I know you've got one clip somewhere of an Alex Chu routine, whether it's Fat Planet, is it Fat Planet or the other one, But
yeah,
again,
the Fat Planet routine.
It's amazing to see where beatboxers have gone on to musical careers and socials, technology. There's such a wide range of where people have gone. And again, from humanbeatbox.com, the Beatbox Championships, Dino, you take it massively online. The whole idea of you're producing music. There's such a huge scope for beatboxing at the moment, and again, especially against the battle against AI, we are the only people taking it on, with the loop stations especially showing and demonstrating what we can do. Well, Oxbox obviously, what you can do, with just a voice, so it's great.
Yeah, definitely. So, and Danny, for you, or in your opinion, Scott's got to go. Oxbox has got to go. Big up to Oxbox.
Peace.
Big up to the
Okay,
chat
Bash.
for
Love to all you
Oxbox.
guys. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, big
See you
love
soon,
always.
brother.
bro.
Thank you, Scott.
Peace. For you as a beatboxer, how important was it for you to get that title, and like how did it kind of change your career? Because I know, I'm not sure if you were touring with Jay before, but I know you obviously toured the world with Jay Sean as a beatboxer, and then as a hype man, and then doing all these other shows around the world. How has the impact of having that credential of being the UK champ
I think
helped that?
I think back then, winning the title like definitely was it was very, very big deal to me, and the prize back then, it was a car, and I was just absolutely gassed to win a brand new car. That
True,
was like
true.
absolutely ridiculous to think that was actually a thing, that you could win a car from beatboxing. And I just remember my mum didn't understand what that meant, and like, what, you got a car for making noises out your mouth? Are you mad? But yeah, winning the title is that self affirmation, self kind of like worth, that you feel like, wow, it's an achievement that it's not one of those once in a lifetime things that you don't think is possible. It's like, wow, I'm number one in the country. Wow, that doesn't really make sense. And it unlocked, because I won, I was able to enter the World Championships, and that was like another step up. And doing GBB and World Beatbox Champs in 2012, that was like opened up to the world scene, and battling in that, and that kind of made me realize that I wasn't really a battler. I had routines. I had routines, and I had 6 sounds, but I guess I didn't have the same hunger that I once did from winning it in 2008, because there were so many absolute aliens that were dedicating hours a day practicing their routines. And I think I wanted to be more. It winning the champs was my initiation into becoming more of a performer, an artist, I guess. And it helped me definitely, because after winning the champs, I was on tour with Foreign Beggars and on tour with Jay Sean, and I was already doing world tours. And yeah, it unlocked that part of performance, and battling is definitely a string on the bow, but then the performance and creativity, you need to become a whole package of being a performer. And battling was my initiation, I guess, and it was my training into becoming a performer. And I would say my time as a MC on pirate radio stations was my way of getting comfortable on a microphone, which allowed me to be able to be a battler. So it's all steps which have kind of formed my journey, and now I guess people are going to start hearing music soon, I guess.
I hope so. Sick. Last question for you, what are you most looking forward to this year? So again, being from someone who was at the first champs 20 years ago in 2005, when you were 18 years old, and now in 2025 when you're still 18 years old, what are you looking forward to the most?
You know what? I'm looking forward to hearing some new styles, because one thing that's happened, good or bad, because of the accessibility of beatboxing, you've got a lot of beatboxers that develop similar styles just by proxy of because you're near each other. So I'm looking forward to hearing some really original routines, original sounds, like really structuring their rounds that I haven't heard before, because it's really hard to not be influenced when you're hearing amazing beatboxers like D-Lo, BV, River, Collapse. It's very natural to adopt some of their styles. I mean, it was the same with us when we first started beatboxing. We all did Razel routines because it's very natural. But yeah, I want to hear some unique sounds, unique routines. I'm looking forward to this the battle clock as well. That's going to be a new dynamic that's going to enter, and people have to really think about how they want to structure their rounds. And this new loop station category as well. It's going to be sick.
We're looking forward to you on stage. Zany will be hosting, obviously, both days, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm trying to save my voice.
It's all about saving your voice, but it's all about getting the words, the beatbox battle clock, beatbox battle, right. If you can get it in the right order, great. But if you get in the wrong order, you're in some serious So we wish you luck with that.
Beatbox battle.
Start practicing, proper power plan of events.
He did it on purpose. He did it on purpose.
Probably on purpose.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, because I think there's a lot of new blood in this champs, because they've had these. I think the COVID years added to last year. There's a whole new generation of beatboxers. That's like 4 years or 5 years from 2020 to now. So that's a whole generation. Like you can develop a whole style in 5 years. So there'll be some new blood that are just ready to kill it.
A lot of people from COVID who didn't get the chance to go out and perform. You know, we missed out on the Beatbox Champs for three or 4 years because of COVID. And again, getting this new generation out on the mics on these stages is the most important thing, to make sure they go, you can make a career out of this, and you can actually go on stage and hear how you sound. I think when you've got a sub and a Function One or a big sound system behind you.
I think it'll be a reality check for a lot of them, because beatboxing live is so different from beatboxing in your bedroom.
And we got Jimmy Logic on the sound as well this year.
Yeah.
So
just a little quick tangent thought, because I remember when I was hosting when Dilo first entered under 18s. And I remember hearing some of his unique sounds out loud. I was like, "Wow, that is mental! Such unique." I want to have that. I want to hear that. Like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard that before. That's what I want. That wonder.
There's such a good clip. I shared it recently, actually. Actually, it would have been on the video I sent to you, Dilo, but of your under 18 battle. But Zany's reaction, it's Slizzer first, from the sound that no one's ever heard before, and then Zany's reaction, you're like looking around like, what? And then you just, those moments are what I live for UK champs. Is sick. And that nicely brings us quick nice tangent on to Dilo. Let's have a little chat about your journey, because Dilo, I think you're the only or one of the only ones that have gone, one of the few, sorry, that have gone from under 18s into the other categories. But I believe you're the only one who's won the under 18 champs, and also the main solo champs and the team champs, and also battled in the loop station. You've done it all, but you're greedy. But yeah, what was your journey like to finding out about UK champs? Because your like discovery into it was a bit different compared to, especially, you know, like us guys and finding out through the forums and stuff. What was your journey like, and then discovering UK champs?
Yeah, so Frosty's even greedier than me on that, by the way. Greedy man Frosty.
Oh, is he?
Done it all, any. So for me it was to find out the UK champs. What a question. Okay, let me just try let me try remember how that even happened. So I was already beatboxing. I don't know how, like I said that to people online and stuff, but if you don't know how I started, I was inspired by a friend in person who was doing it, and then I just kind of like met with my mate, and I did it by habit like him, and then I just kind of went off on my own tangent for about 6-7 years of just beatboxing. Like I just picked up this rhythmic habit and just went on it on my own, and then it has to have started with Xbox, because that's where I met Frosty, and Frosty was savvy with it. Like Frosty, like call me a guy that likes doing this beatbox thing, and call Frosty the nerd that's already knowing the scene, real knowing, proper amazing nerd knowing it. And actually a little thing on that. One of the coolest things is, and I'll share this moment in my own head. I was playing. Do you guys ever get it where you have a picture for the memory? Like I remember what I was doing in the moment I come up with these memories. So I sat on COD 4. I remember I was playing COD 4, and Frosty was telling me the names of the sounds that I had found out on my own beatbox journey. So I was doing like, I was going like, and he was telling me that one's a PF snare, that one's a throat bass. Like I could do the sounds. What a crazy cool story, right? Like I had not heard them, but I could do them. Therefore, we talk about inspiration. Maybe perhaps you'd have found it your own way too. Maybe it was just the way it was meant to go, like throat bass. But yeah, so Frosty telling me the names of the sounds. Honestly, I remember this vividly. Now I'm in it. I'm trying to juggle what is a pass snare and why can I do it? Like this is crazy times. Anyway, he then started telling me about online battles, and he dragged me in Secret Weapon. of mass destruction, mass original destruction. And then he told me, and then now I'm on skate. Okay, many months later, I'm playing skate. I'm on Super Ultra Mega Park, and he's telling me about there's a UK tournament, like the UK. There's a championship for the UK, and I was like, oh, flipping out. Well, I'm pretty good, and I really want to see how good I am. Imagine if you could be the champion of your country, like champion of the UK. And at the time, by the way, I'm thinking, no way. Like, of course I'm not. Of course I won't be. But I would love to try. And he was telling me about ABH had just did it. So my entry was 2014. The one at the year after ABH. So he said ABH, because Frosty's at this point, to be fair to him, he's pretty in it. He must have really knew, because he said ABH and Contrix are going to be the fight for the winner. Or you if you enter. Actually, I don't know if he never glazed me that much. But anyway, then I discovered it, and then we discovered we can enter too. And at the time, I was livid because I couldn't enter. I was too young. I was about to turn 18 the week after the comp or something like that. So I had to do the under 18s, and it was the first of its kind and ever, wasn't it? The first under 18s in beatbox history ever, not just England, like the world. First under 18 competition. So then we found a way to do wildcards, and I was like, all right, this is new. This is weird. Let me try to enter an online live beatbox battle. Flipping out. And I'd been only on stage, just faffing around like at school, a couple of fun shows, kicking around, showing what my identity is, what Dan does. This is this beatbox trick. I'm the king of the town for it. Now I'm going to try compete against these guys. Wow. So then we won a wild card, and I remember you get this mad email. It says, you've won the wild card. That was wicked. Turn up to the 2014 event, and now I've done about 1 year of reaching out and researching it, like finding battles online, finding massively coincidental, but Louis up here, even this is a massive, like, it does not sound like a coincidence because we're all in the scene now and stuff, but believe me, that's a major coincidence that we happen to, however, find each other on Facebook through like beatbox video, something.
Was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Facebook, man. Like, we were chatting on Facebook, not knowing each other, other sides of the country, but that was just like me learning what is beatbox. I need to find who is good, what's going on. And then we turn up to the under 18s, but I'm already like serious mode. I'm here. Like, I'm angry. I'm not even in the main flipping competition. How brazen is that? Anyway, I'm just happy. I'm buzzing. This is like some feelings I've never experienced. So anyone that's considering coming to the event this year, don't think twice. Do it, because it's like, it was life-changing for me. I was seeing Frosty. I was seeing who was there? Like, yeah, Ballsy and Slizzer were the judges, and Sid Effects, as mentioned. You lot, like, I was learning. I didn't know the people at the time, to be fair, but what I had done was I had wrote down my rounds and meticulously planned them, and turn up to win, and beeline win. Can't go any other way. But Frosty the bro's there, and he's unreal. And yeah, so we do that, turn up to the UK champs, and God, man, to this day, that's one of the best days ever. One of the craziest experiences of my life was to do the under 18s at the UK champs at Brixton Jam. And I show my stuff on the stage, and it was like the amount of people that came up after and spoke great words to me. It was like extremely fucking awesome. Like one of the best days.
It was the first year of the under 18s, and we had no idea what the levels would be like. And honestly, the one of my favorite routine of the whole thing was the that honestly was, I don't know what that tune resonates with me or anything like that, but the fact is someone did it so accurately, and I must have even in my head tried to practice some of that. That was just amazing. And I'm going to give you two other things. First of all, at that under 18s, I remember trying to have a chat with the security, making sure that you could stay in for the finals because there was a venue policy at 11 o'clock. Under 18s weren't allowed in. And you were so adamant and there was no question. And you made sure you got in and you got to see that. My third thing is every time you say, oh, it was the UK, we've been doing a documentary over the years about the Beatbox Champs. And my favorite quote from you is, especially when you won GBB, you basically like go, and then I became the champion of Earth, and Earth is such a better expression than world or UK or international. And it's honestly, so if this documentary comes out in the next year or so, please honestly check it out, because that quote is just like, Earth, whatever people think on planet systems, you know, rather than just like, yeah, the general world or a few continents, you know, it's fine. But anyway, huge thing. Sorry to interrupt and stuff, but yeah, my little interjection.
Nah, that was super cool to hear. Yeah, like and on that, honestly, like the winning the under 18s. I do remember like
also big up Redbeard, who you battled in the final. Who Redbeard
Oh,
is still
man.
battling today.
Bro, Redbeard was. I mean, hold on. Let's think. Rewind. Think about this. The spawn of that under 18 was Redbeard and me, and Frosty and Milky.
And Frosty, yeah. Oh yeah,
And
Milky
my
as well, of
route was to
course.
battle Milky first, then Frosty, then Redbeard. And this
Yep.
was all first time. This was for all of us in a row. Crazy stuff. And so honestly, I won't forget how bombarded I was with support and love for what I did at the comp by people coming up, shaking my hand. I must have had to wash my hand 25,000 times. It was just so unbelievable, and it filled me with this extreme passion and dedication to continue. Like that was the entrance, and then I got my wish, didn't I? Right? Did the next year is 2015.
Yep.
And man, that so much happened in that first year, because then I was on a plane, right? First time on a flipping plane a few months later to do the world champs. So this was insane stuff. Like this all happened so fast. The whole thing for me happened like super speed. Like we did the under 18s, and honestly, 3 months later, I'm sat in a judge panel judging beatbox, meet with you, Hobbs, and Fozzie at the flow case, the first ever flow case. Shout out to Han if you're about. And we were judging that first ever installment, which had legends that were in the making that you don't realize, like MB14, who was competing in this competition alongside ABH was there, Freddie Beats. I don't remember who won it, but it was one of them. So then I
can't remember who won it.
The national winners, right? They go to the World Championships, but the stipulation was that I couldn't, because it was only under 18s, and I think only one could be the representation, so therefore the main champion of as it should be. But for me, I felt hard done by because I didn't even have the chance to get in. So that was I really wanted to do the main competition for that. Greedy Dan was looking for it all. I got in though through the wild card, right, for the world champs. Got there, did
did you?
Yeah, wild card for that one. And I placed first time on a plane. I've been to France and a few places by car, but first time on a plane, go to Germany, go on the stage, meeting for the first time every beatboxer ever. And then you go and I come flipping third. Are you crazy? Come third in the eliminations. What's going on, man? Like fantasy land. Then I get my ass humbled to me by Korean Effects, the veteran. Fair flipping play. And sick battle as well. Really proud of my old me there. But then I need to go and learn some new stuff now, because I come to the UK champs and lose to the champion Contrix.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Dan. Sorry to interrupt you. After that, when you did lose that world champs to Korean Effects, what did you think of? Like, what did you feel like you had to improve? What was it in your head that you needed to improve?
So I thought that from what was shown, material shown, I had a hope that I may have clinched the battle. So that itself, figuring out why I lost, was the learning to start seeing that I need to find a better way to deliver it with a bit more composure or a bit more. Well, for me actually, it was to master the mic technique. I was fairly composed in the battle. In fact, I was. If I compare it to the new generation, I had a great composure for my age, but not a great mic technique. I was picking the wrong sounds, so I had to find out the way to make the sounds come out, which is everything you guys should learn at the UK Champs and watch people's journeys of expression there. Then it's 2016. Right, that's the one. So I really, really, really wanted to win the 2015 installment. I was really up for it. I was in the battle mode. In fact, to be honest, guys, I'd worked doing warehouse stuff, bakery stuff, saving up the money for that Germany trip. And then I stopped working from that day till now. I saved up, conjured the money to do those events, go out and do it. Then I went to battle, and that was it. I in battle. I don't even know what I want in life next. Only battle. So then 2015 comes, I take, it's a loss. And then, so I didn't actually battle until the next UK Champs. Credit to the comp. UK Championships was the purpose in these years. So 2016, I'm training all year. And no one's beating me. No one. That's it now. It's over. This is my head. I'm so aggressive and angry in that competition, 2016. Let's not.
I remember that year, but I remember seeing you backstage. You were just so hyper focused on like, I'm gonna win this.
Yeah, I really wanted to win it, and I had like a lot of my mates. They're like my support systems, you know, like Frosty and Sal and Epos, curate like saying which one's the good one and stuff. Yeah, so I the 2016 one was so flipping hard because it was Red was there getting better, and Beat Fox and ABH and Contrix was the rematch. Yeah, I was really angry, and the whole time I was flipping angry. It was not the most fun, but I'll tell you what was fun. When I won was one of the best moments of my life. So you asked me what it means to win the UK Champs. It means everything, especially if you've decided to enter and you're a prospect to win and you think you can. It was the ultimate relief, the ultimate validation, as what Zany said about that validation. I remember the moment, sprint over to Teresa, hug, celebrate, prize money, fly off to New Zealand 2 months later, and then go and travel. And then
there's a great clip which I love from the final, from when you won, and the passion through you, because I think I was the one that raised the hands, and you jumped, and you're just so excited, but you're so passionate to big up to ABH for the second place. I go to high five you, and you just push me out the way and shake to hug it. But the passion's there. That's what I love about it, and it's just like it shows how much it meant to you to win that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I know how it feels to be on that side of the not win, and yeah,
so do I.
Yeah, it's a crazy, energy's high everywhere, and it was a battle. I was really on top of the game in that competition until the final. I was steamrolling my way through, and then ABH decided to be the best he was in the whole comp against me. And yeah, I technically won. I didn't win on the best one. I think he did the better job, in my opinion. I won on the technicalities, you know, the variety department, maybe the structural way. So not quite the steamroll. It could have gone either way with me and him. Like, he really, really controlled the energy of the night in that battle in the final. And I remember he said to me that him and Beat Fox, who had to battle each other, they were like, well, what's the point anyway? We've got to take on D-Lo in the final. And look how that turned out, because ABH was better. He got better and better. Do you mean you don't want to face... Like, and I was here by the rule book, the kid with the rule book, all the cool tricks, the plan, and he just... The energy, man. Fair play to ABH, monster. But yeah, to win that then, that meant, like, that was still, like... I won Earth now, yeah? I won Earth, and I won the UK. And you asked me how much they matter. To me, it was the same, exactly the same. The UK winning the UK Champs meant as much to me as winning the GBB. That's maybe more, because it's your country. You're the country's representation. It's everything. It was everything. Yeah, and then I'll battle the mate Frosty the next year.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So 2017, you came back to defend your title, and you also won the team category with Frosty, with Kocha, which was an epic final against A Cloud. And then you came to the final in the solos against your tag team partner, Frosty. So what was that like for you to battle, obviously, like one of your closest friends, but then also your tag team partner who I can't remember if the team final was before or after, but you would have either been preparing for or you would have just done a battle together to try and win, and now you're suddenly facing off to beat each other.
So I
What was
think
that like?
it was a weird moment because we're like sparring buddies, you know, training partners through the years. That year was different because I ended up in the loop station as well, and I had to do
Oh, yeah,
three
of
finals
course.
in a row. It was the loop final, the solo, and the tag team. I don't remember the order, but all I remember was splitting my interest and in across them. Perhaps maybe a bit more to the new categories. So then my brother is in the final with me, and in my head I'm thinking, man, I want him to win, but man, I want to win. So I'm happy either way. Like, I'm so happy all the results, and we both better bloody lock in and get this team win because we really wanted that. We took on Base Ventura, man, again, what a battle with Renegade, and we battled these guys in the teams, and man, were they the surprise package. Like, yeah, we were known a bit at this point, so was A Cloud, but they weren't. And they turn up and like, what? And I think, Louis, is that right? That it was the first, the UK champs, technically the first time you're battling there?
First time in the UK is, yeah, because me and Renegade met at World Beatbox Camp, which was what, maybe
Oh yeah, of course, you and Renegade.
3 months earlier, something like that. And then I think we battled Kenny and Alem, and then two French guys. No, two French guys, and then Kenny and Alem. There was no way we were beating them. And then it took Chris weeks of being like, please come and do UKs, please come and do UKs. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then we did. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. What was
your team
like
name?
Ultra Grade.
Oh yeah, Ultra Grade.
I think that was like the first experience of getting like fully pasted.
Yeah, that was a proper battle. For anyone interested,
pasted.
For anyone interested, get and watch that one. Like the Ultra Grade versus Kotra, it will be called. That was a serious battle, an either way battle, to be honest. But yeah. So we did the teams. But then I got vice champion in the solo and the loop station. So it was kind of like a bittersweet. Amazing to be in all the finals, but would have been nice to maybe perhaps clinch one of those other wins. But it's to Frosty, man, and he's trained like I did the year before. And then so I did another one, right, the 2018, which is the last time I was at the UK champs, which is now 7 years ago, man.
Wow.
I can't wait.
And in that 2018, you and Louis battled, you and Base Ventura battled.
Yes, right, exactly.
I saw a photo the other day of Base Ventura looking very young.
Yeah, man. So, and like, Louis was like, a really new prospect, but someone that you can tell was completely capable to dominate a battle and a stage moment. So, so I really like. He would then became one of the people that will be one of the ones then to take on the question earlier. He'd be in there. I managed to battle Beatfox there. I reclaimed the final with Frosty, and I can't remember the first battle, but I kind of did battle the people that I wanted. But yeah, then to win that in 2018, it's out of context, but I just faced defeat in the GBB to Cobfish, and there was like controversial eras like the World Championships with the sound system stuff, and my heart was here now I was in the world thing. And the UK champs entry in 2018 was a kind of a retaliation thing. I was just I need to battle everything in that moment. But that again was another amazing moment, and it never felt old, and also it never felt easier. That's the truth.
Yeah, right.
I can say that with chest, that the UK Championships for me is also been the exact same level of difficulty as the GBB. Because you can,
Wow.
the saying is, you can only beat what's in front of you. And what was in front of me for the UK champs was ferocious. In context of the night, everyone knows how to perform and everyone knows how to be aggressive and battle whilst the love is still there. But to say which one was harder, the same. UK champs and GBB, if I'm comparing them, the same difficulty. So, yeah, 2018.
Crazy.
Now we're here.
2018, and in 2018, you redeemed yourself and got the team championship. So you had the solo and the team. So you got your two, and then I'm not sure what you did. You enter the loops in 2018?
Yes, I did. I lost to balance. Lost the balance in the semi-final. Another great battle. Big up to the bro. Yeah, man. So just vibes all the way.
So what you as in a completely different role from being in battle mode and having that I guess head mode looking at champs this year, coming back on the more creative role and having things that you've created for it and being a big part of the team for this year. What are you most looking forward to and what are you most hyped for seeing, and what do you want to see as well? Two-part question.
I'm excited. Like it stays close. Like the roots stay close. I'm really excited to see who can become the national champ. I'm not 100% if this is a fact, but maybe I don't know if any previous winners even in the competition. Therefore, it will be a new winner, maybe, right?
No, just Throwbacker defending the team title.
Okay.
That's the only one.
Yeah. So I meant in the solo, by the way, in particular.
Yeah, solo. Yeah. No.
So yeah, to see who the next solo winner, that is exciting for me. There is names that can do it, so who will? That's crazy. And I'm just excited to see familiar faces. It's a proper nice vibe every time, and it's highly recommended to be at. It's such a good time. And for me, it's been a long time. Like I say, 7 years. Like that's actually a bit unreal because then 2018, 7 years before that would have been what 2011. I wasn't even battling. Yeah, that's actually weird. Timelines are weird, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been a long time for me, and I'm just excited to reminisce and see the new. I like what Zany said, where you hear something for the first time and you get a bit giddy about it. That was sick to I didn't get to see you in the moment, Zany, because you were hosting, but watching the battle back in 2014, you getting gassed up to my beats gasses me up to make more new good beats. So it always circulates, and that was like, yeah, I think the best memories of the UK champs would have been winning it for the first time in Maine, and the whole under 18 thing. The whole under 18 thing was like surreal experience.
Big up, man. Yeah, I'm excited to have you part of this this year in a different way, and it's going to be quite the event. So sick. All right, Louis, Base Ventura, our last but not least,
Talk to me.
the current reigning champion.
What was
And a
that, guys?
nice segue from what Dilo was talking about. How are you feeling about looking at this year and seeing the potential of a new champion on the horizon? What's it like being the current reigning champion and seeing that?
It's a loaded question, but like with what I'm looking forward to seeing this year, I mean, it's kind of like Dan said, it is going to be someone who's never been a champ before. So there's no like defending or people that are coming for like a rebirth of the champion title again. So it's going to be interesting for that front. I've also got a lot of students that are in the battle, so that's going to be interesting to kind of like watch how they do how they work the dynamic out and stuff. I'm just excited to watch, man, honestly. And going off the point of like, being current champion and so on, I think, do you know what? I feel like the excitement was kind of robbed from me a little bit The only reason being was because I got teased so hard. Because we had 2019 where it was like I had a hell of a load of stuff going on in life. I had 2 broken ribs. I was like, I'm sending it. I need a win in my life. I'm going. You guys know the story, innit? And then obviously didn't win that year. So I was like Dan said, like angry, bro. I was so furious to just go back. 2020, I'm doing it. It's a round number, fire. And then COVID happened. And I got 5 years till 2024. But then when I actually won it, it was just a case of like just pure relief. And obviously we were filming the documentary with Mike during the whole process, like before going on stage, talking to the camera, getting off stage, talking to the camera, breaking everything down, all the rest of it. And I think that almost helped me dissect it myself. Rather than being in my own head, I was kind of like saying, oh, this could actually be a good thing to do. But by far the best part of winning it was being backstage with all you guys and having my mom stood there. You know, she was in front row the whole time, giving it finger to the opponent and putting a fist on pot. And she came back and I could see the tears in her eyes and I was just like, you know,
I think
sick.
your mum in 2024 was louder than the whole entire
Oh, easily.
audience.
She's a Yorkshire lass though, man. That's just how factory setting.
Yeah. She was sick. Yeah, it was great to see because obviously, like you say, it was having the close final in 2019 and that journey, and obviously seeing you come through in the solo category. Because your first solo battle was 2018, or in UK Champs anyway. Your first solo battle was 2018, right?
Yeah, 2018. My
believe.
first 2 years, Dan just slapped me all over the place, and then I was like, you know what? No, I'm ready now. Yeah, it was good, man. I think for me, what really helped give me the what's it called, the motivation to carry on, because I was like I enjoyed battling, but it was never something that I was like all in on. And I really envy the people that are like, boom, like I know exactly where I'm going and what I can do with this. For me, I was kind of like, do I do it? Do I not? Obviously, I've already been like doing shows and stuff and all that. So I just didn't know what my lane was. And then when I got first place on the 2018 Champs Elims, I was like, oh, this actually might be possible.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was a massive surprise to me. I got off stage and I went, there's no way. Because obviously I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's D'Lo in the competition, there's Frosty in the competition, there's not a chance. So that gave me a hell of a lot of motivation, big time. And then I was like, okay, at least there was a show that I can be good enough. And then obviously then we carried on through those years. Definitely a big highlight was first UK Champs for me, which was 2017. I remember, I think I did I've been watching B-Art for ages, and then me and B-Art made a video. Was that on UK Champs or was that on Beatboxing? I can't remember which one it was. It could have been international.
Not sure.
And then obviously then doing tag teams, and that was like the first time, you know, national battles and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I came in pretty late around 2017, so for me it wasn't a case of like I already knew all of these people. It was a case of I had to go back, and because it was so fresh and coming up to the champs, I had no idea who was going to be in. I knew I kind of had an idea that I was going to go in it. So I just watched like pretty much all of UK BT's content. Like I'm talking almost every video for this slight chance that they might just go, oh, I'm going to come back this year. Or they've been in the comp for years. So it was all very fresh. So I was getting there and I'm just seeing all these faces. I'm like, oh, shit, man, this is crazy. So yeah, it was a really surreal moment. And you know, I was always quite out of the loop a little bit. And I think because I'm all the way up north, there's not really many beatboxers up here. So I didn't really have
too cold up there, mate.
Too cold. We've got countryside up here, mush. But yeah, so it was just one of those things where I was kind of like unsure who people were, and you know, we didn't have that rapport already. So it was nerve-wracking, but it was definitely a hurdle that was like, if I can do this, then you know, we're good to go. So yeah, that was
interesting.
God, sorry, Jack.
Sorry, yeah, interesting. What you said about you like watching all UK Champs content and seeing people and writing routines for them. And something I want to ask you actually, because you're obviously clues in the name, but based Ventura, but you're very well known for your ridiculous vibration bass and everything. But then in terms of writing routines, how important for something like battling, but UK Champ specific, of looking at who is in the competition. Obviously, it could be quite hard because we have 30
Yeah,
30 opponents essentially. But how important do you think it is for looking forward at people? Sorry, not looking forward, looking at people and seeing what you could. Oh, big up Zany. Zany's got to go off. Shout out to
See you later, brother. Peace.
Yes, peace, guys. Amazing. See
So-
you guys soon.
Big love. Speak
See you later,
soon.
brother.
See you on the 20th
so-
and 21st.
Yeah, how important do you think it is as a battler to have these routines and have these setups and have, I guess I'm not a big fan of the phrase, but having a unique sound or something that really highlights you. Yeah, how important was that for you, or if maybe not for you, how important do you think it is for competitors?
Well, I mean, for me, I had to really check myself and just be very real with myself at that point, because like I knew I was doing something that not a lot of people were really exploring at the time.
Yeah.
And it definitely stood out, but I had to be really real with myself. And yes, I had like a very polished bass at the time, but my drums were ass. So, you know, my basics and various other stuff, it was just a case of like, you know, I know that I'm not going to be able to out tech people. I know that I'm not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. So what I just decided was just to focus on composition, just really heavy hitting, simple stuff. And that worked, you know, that worked really well for Flowcase. I think you were at that Flowcase, Dan. Where it was me and
Yeah.
Beatbox in the final.
Yeah.
It could have been a 5 or something.
What an
That was my
event.
first ever solo battle. I was
What
like,
a bro,
"Wow."
you slaughtered it. That was such an insane battle. Was it you and Beatfox final and Beatfox
Me
got
and
it?
Beatbox in the final. And I remember, it was like the end of an anime, bro. It was like I was just stood there, and he's just stood over me like this big shadowed figure, just looking at me like, so there's no emotion in his face. You know what Jim's like, right? No emotion in his face, just looking at me like, "You ready? Yeah." Sound. And he absolutely destroyed me. And and funny thing is, me and Beatfox didn't really like each other for a little bit after that. No idea why. And then we're obviously best mates down the line. So it was just like battle drama. We've all had a little
It
bit
was
of
a
it.
stat comp. It was like a
Yeah.
there was Renegade on fire, Grey Cloud on fire,
Mm.
and honestly, that was a. You say you got destroyed. I remember on the panel thinking that's an either way final. Like you really
Really?
popped off, yeah, man. Like you were in great
Wow.
control. It was the passion
Wow.
was there, and it was deadly. Like the control,
That was all I had back then, man.
Yeah.
Passion and bass.
Well, cahoots to
But
you
yeah.
saying that you didn't have the tech tricks. Look at you now, man.
I didn't.
Very
I didn't,
technical
man,
now.
yeah.
Like you've smashed it.
Yeah,
A
and
few years.
all the champions again. You know, you've got Faith S Effects, you've got Beardy Man. Again, going through quite a few of the champs. Faith S Effects, Beardy Man, yourself, Dilo, Bass Ventura, any other champions who have actually gone on to produce music and release music. And this is one of the things that, you know, every beatbox champion, where do you go from being a beatbox champion? Aside, you know, you focus on the battling, and like I said, that's hardcore because it's a chess game, you know, and
Yep.
you know who's going to win and what techniques and everything like that. But going on to actually, you know, as performance, live entertainment, etc. But producing music, Dilo, you've been doing that for years. Basically, you're riding that. Faith S Effects, I say that. Beardy Man, again, someone who does live composition, but also releases music and sound packs and different technology. This is where, you know, each champion seems to have a lot more than just a battling package. And again, with your live show, where do you take that? As in, you know, Dilo, if you've got a live show as a solo artist, just it's solo beatboxing, or if you've got Bass Ventura taking it as it's solo beatboxing with your production, what is the new direction to take beatboxing if you're going to produce it for a live performance?
I think it depends what your end goal is ultimately. I mean, I think it was maybe 2018 I set out like a 5-6 year plan, which a lot of that wasn't attainable due to COVID and various other different things, but I had a clear vision in mind of what I wanted to do if like I never was able to win UKs or anything like that, because that was a very real thought at the time. I was like, you know, I was very driven to just try and give it a good go, but also I had to be real with myself again and be like, well, if I don't want to have that, you know, get up to this point and then just deflate out and let it fizz away. Because music has always definitely been like one of the strongest things in my life as a you know, as a whole. I think what I realized was the show doesn't just have to be, you know, the beatboxing side of it. I mean, it gives us some. Okay, let me break it down like this. Battling for me, this is my personal experience, probably different for other people, but battling for me helped me refine very short form pieces of content, and it gave me a very, very, very good motivation to train. Whereas my end goal of what I wanted to do was to do longer, like, you know, longer format shows or longer format pieces. And I always found no matter how much I could train, doing an hour was still busting along every single time. So I was like, okay, how can I make this a bit easier? And then I started, like, I did a bit of loop station, which was a very fast 3 months. I tried a bunch of different stuff, and then, you know, then I landed on music, which is good. I think for somebody who's thinking, right, I'm going to win now, just think of it as, okay, yes, you're winning the UK title. You're going to be the champion. You're going to be able to go to world champs, but also remember, you're also getting a new almost tier of marketing. You're getting a new tier of what's the word I'm thinking of? Not appreciation. What am I saying? Basically, you're being co-signed essentially as you have the skills to do X, Y, and Z. And I just want people to just go, what's the wildest idea I can throw out there? Oh, I want to do a unicycle beatbox petting zoo show. Go for it. Go for it. Because you'll be the only one that's ever done it, right? You'll be the originator of that show. So I just say throw out wild ideas as soon as that happens, or even before. Throw out wild ideas and just see where it takes you, and just pursue it. I mean, the worst thing that happens is you've just earned some skills in a different place that you never knew you had.
Yeah.
But I think for me it really changed, because I was a drum and bass, a garage MC for the raves when I was like 13 through to 17, and then I kind of just left that. I just completely forgot about it because it was just beatbox. So when the two could finally come together in a cohesive show, then I was just like, okay, now I feel at home. It was nostalgic and new to me, and all. It was a really weird thing. But yeah, I would just say, like, just take 5 passions that you're interested in and try and do something with it. And the reason why you use 5 is because you're just creating your unique thumbprint. Odds are there's not really anybody else who has those same 5. So yeah,
That's cool.
that would be my best advice for someone who's actually,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
really nice.
about to go. So yeah, yeah,
I'm going to take that. 5 thumbprints. Lovely.
Yeah, I like that.
5
five things, because you're right. You start subdividing yourself into what makes you you.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that can be translated into the beatbox battle world as well, especially into like
Yeah.
creating rounds and, you know,
Yeah,
that
for sure.
thinking about the process of not getting, I guess it's quite easy. I know when I was battling, you could get quite overwhelmed of trying to think of routines and what works, and overthinking and being like,
Yeah.
that works here, but would it work here? Would this be a good reply against, you know, if I'm facing, like when I was against Ballsy, I'm like, he's so clean and so powerful. What can I have that can counteract that? But rather than necessarily thinking in that way, thinking of the strengths that you have to go against it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than necessarily
That's sometimes the
compare.
hardest part, I feel like, because that introspective thought process, going back, reflecting on yourself and going, what do I have that's good enough for that? And when you don't get an immediate answer, especially in a battle scenario, you're kind of like, oh, I'm not good enough. And then that can throw a battle the other way. It's kind of a hard thing. I almost like to just be completely numb in those scenarios and just be like, don't know what's going on. Just going to grab the mic and do what I've practiced, you know?
Yeah. It can affect people's confidences of, oh, that wasn't as strong as someone else's battle routine. It shouldn't affect your production or your creativity as much as, you know, again, we learn as we fail, etc. And again, if we're trying to work out one sort of system, going like, oh god, that wasn't as good as that person's, you shouldn't worry about that. And you've got every difference of direction to use your skills in a different way. And when you're preparing for a battle, that's just something in a few minutes and a few moments. Whereas, of course, when you've got, as you say, you've got a 5-year strategy, or you've got the 5 fingertips, whatever, you know, 5 fingertips, one thumb, whatever you want to call it.
Get on a
It's gonna be a
t-shirt,
whole new
mate.
concept, man. It's like gonna be Chinese whispers, isn't it?
Yeah, completely, exactly. Like, so the 7 hands and the 3 fingers, but behind each other's backs, only left-handed. But it still works for some people. I'm sure that will. But yeah, exactly that. It's, you know, it's amazing, like what skills you develop from learning how to battle, to compete, and to prepare for smaller rounds. As much as your creativity is so free, and like you say, it was donkeys left-handed, upside down in the wind on another planet. All those sort of freestyle is, that's what everyone's creativity outside of battling is, you know. And it's amazing to see people transferring those skills into, you know, whether it is organizing, whether it is performance, whether that is production, whether that's beyond that, you know. Again, it's great to see. And again, more so than just becoming a battle superstar, you know, it's more than that.
I mean, this is why I made the latest release, Evolution, with Koji Aiken. Like, the whole purpose of the track is, you'll hear it in the vocal, it is literally just talking about the evolution of the human voice, and how as humans on a day-to-day, we're not using ourselves to our full potential, right? And my whole thought process kind of behind what inspired it was just like, you know, if we take apes and we take humans and all these different animals, if it's communication that is one of the things that separates us from like all these different living things, build skyscrapers and cruise ships and planes and all these mad things, you know, we're expanding conversation, communication as a whole with beatboxing. You know, it might sound a bit weird and a bit different, but is it really that different? I don't think so. So that was the whole thing for Evolution. And it's almost like a keep going, gang. Like we're on the mission, you know. Yeah. And I sound like Winston Churchill a little bit.
No, I love it. It's you know, Hobbs at the beginning was like, let's keep to the battles. And if we go on a tangent, I was like, the beautiful philosophy of beatboxing and the depth of this speech language, this vocal journey of the voice and connection and communication is incredible. And to be able to translate that into music is amazing. When you translate in a battle, and whether a battle is won or lost, the chemistry is still, there is still an amazing energy of whether it's love, again, all that thing. And I'll be honest, the one thing is always the crowd and the audience that is electric of, and it goes back to when you said about when someone comes up with that one sound, when that new sound is heard for the first time on a sound system, that can win that battle, just let alone that one sound.
On its own,
it's the reaction and, you know, the frequencies that absorb through everyone is amazing. And that's what everyone always hopes for, the new, the next, and who has got that inspiration to take it to the next level. And it is only through champions, but going, that's the level you have to beat now, and that's the level you have to beat every year.
Just keeps climbing, man. Yeah, this is it. This is how I don't know how Dan does it, man. He just keeps up
with everyone, you know.
I
you know,
what do I do? Sorry.
Yeah.
He was just saying that we were saying about how like the level just keeps going and going and going and going and up and up and up. And I said, I don't know how you do it. You just stay up.
Oh,
I don't know how you manage it.
And I mean, Jack and I have been watching this and competing in this for 20 years now, and it was always watching for that new sound and to learn it. And you never know where it comes from. And that's the beauty of, you know, every demo that comes in. And I always say, you know, when people say they're not a beatboxer, and you're always like, yeah, but you have. And someone might just have this weird, quirky sound, and it could just be, you've never heard that sound done by a human before. It could be a bird call, it could be their alarm call. And that opens up your vocabulary. And again, how you inject that into music and everything like that. And this is what we're still always like, you know, we want to include anyone who has the interest of making a sound or going, oh, I do this weird thing. I don't know if there's other people that do that. And the more people that can join into that community, this is still the extension of, like I say, this new world and new vocabulary and new language
100%.
that's, you know, is growing.
I just saw that. I just saw that Renegrade's in the chat as well. Big up to Renegrade.
Hey, big up Renegrade.
So there's a question by Air Dynamics. If it says, Base Ventura said he was more inspired by other things in battling. What else inspires me as a beatboxer? I don't want to give you a cookie cutter answer and just say like music or anything like that. I would weirdly, I don't know what else inspires me. Comedy
Cookies.
inspires me a little bit. Comedic timing inspires me a little bit, and obviously Rue could probably go with that. A lot of like in the shows now, I try and add in a lot more comedy. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's a really good thing. I mean, now we're on this topic, I want to ask everybody here a question, because you guys have had a lot more history than I have in the UKBC, or even just in beatbox in general. Do you think that beatbox lyrics have got better over time or have got worse over time?
Well,
What do we
I'll
think?
talk.
This is a question for the
I
chat
will
as well.
talk. I'll talk from a not experience, an old person within the battle scene. There never used to be lyrics in beatbox battle routines and beatbox routines. Like when, for example, when I first started battling in 2003, 2004, exclusively all battle routines were covers, because the goal was crowd pleasing, and the goal was getting the audience on your side. So you'd have stuff that you did, but within that it was mainly covers. So you use that to go, so any lyrics you use were from a cover, and then it started to become more routines or stuff that you did by yourself. So I remember there was a point, I think when it probably was about 2013 when I battled Ballsy and he did his Take You Higher routine. That routine, and I was just like, that's cleverly put in lyrics that are not he's not trying to sing, not trying to do anything like this. It was just like a power like statements. And I remember Reaps as well used to do it as well, and brought it in, and then it's kind of evolved now more into lyrics and stuff. So from that point of view, it's evolved into people using lyrics. So, but in terms of if they're getting better or worse, I'll leave that for someone else to answer.
I mean, the first thought for me was, like what lyrics they were covers. So in my head, when you said it, my instinct went they're worse now. But no, I'll tell you what it is. They're better now because people are trying more. They're trying more new themes of things to lyricize about. But to caveat that, and the instinct we're all kind of feeling in ourselves, is I think the delivery has got worse. Because I think that performers were better at delivering lyrics in the previous time, a little bit more authenticity, and it was easier to be original in a way more sparse market. So I think the delivery has become a little bit synergized to the other people and a bit too closely linked. So delivery's gone down, but the actual songwriting and the lyricism is really nice to see, and it's there. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's solid.
Yeah,
that was a sick question, man. Fair play.
Yeah, very good question.
Yeah, there's a lot of loopers. I say over time stuff. There's a lot of like, my baby is so, and they don't explain what she's so, and it just goes, my baby is so.
My baby's in my
like,
mind.
Yeah,
so black.
But she's not coming back.
I'm dark inside.
Yeah, and exactly as I say, there's some amazing composition, but also some very quick lyrics of not quite of the philosophy's not there. But it's not to say that, like say, any of these old school songs you're doing a remix of, like, no, and then suddenly remixing it. It's just one word, and you're just repeating it and making it into your own.
But I think the great thing is with it, is that even if lyrically the writing is not up there or the concept is not there, it's something that an audience can catch on to. So then you see in battles and in if you advance to becoming a judge, then like you've seen it do. I know Dilo sees it as well, and you get that where the audience are not having to go, quick, he's gonna do the, but no, instead they're singing along to the hook, and then when the drop or when the piece of music and piece of beatboxing comes in, that's when it levels up. So I think it's amazing to see, and it's just an evolution of where it can go. And I think with looping, it's important. It's become an important thing to have. Again, from my experience and the history of it, when I first started looping, you didn't really have many lyrics because you spent 3.5 minutes trying to build these loops because there was no quicker way to to do it. But now it's become a thing where you can make songs and advance it. And I think with D'Lo's album he's released, that's a big huge example of that, of the ability to have stuff that you can perform live and then put it into an album format. And even going back to someone like, if you've never heard it, highly recommend scouring the internet and finding Faithless FX or From the Mouth Volume 1 mixtape. It is the most incredible, in my opinion, the best beatbox EP album mixtape that's ever been produced. It's phenomenal. And that came from a point of he was performing on stage and wanting to relate that into music and into tracks, but then collaborated with different artists, so bringing in different lyrics into it. And obviously you can't do that in a beatbox part, but you can if you're in a duo maybe. And I think Kapow, Pi and Milky were a great example of that last year, where one of them would do lyrics and on the build up while one of them was doing the build up, and then they do a drop together, and having that relationship as well is great, and something you can obviously do in a duo that you can't, or you can do it solo, but I guess you can have more impact with a duo. So yeah, definitely. But it's an interesting thing to explore for sure. Yeah, man.
I think for like most new beatboxers that like are coming in, especially if they're unsure about their lyrics, I mean, it just is I can't stress. I'm not saying that I'm a bloody saint with this at all, because I've had some terrible lyrics in my time as well. But it's like the one moment you've got to really just command the audience. Like, it's the one, if you think about it in like a weird way, it's like the one chance you've got to say something that actually means something. Like, the sounds are all up for interpretation for the most part, but all your words have meaning. So if it's a command, or if it's a something to set the concept for the rest of the track, then yes, that can completely change a battle. Like, if I'm judging 100%. And I hear really terrible lyrics, I have to sit there and I'm thinking about the lyrics. I'm like,
yeah,
what happened?
But then on the flip side,
my heartbeat.
Yeah. But on the flip side, it can be an amazing thing of intent and how they use it. And if it's thrown in cleverly, and obviously not just like, you can't beatbox, if it's done something cleverly within it, then it's really impactful for a battle. So
we need some bars in there, man.
Yeah, man. Well, that's
what I want to see this year. That's my UK champs.
I'll tell you what,
thing.
I like the lyrics at the moment. For example, I seen some recent Epos lyrics, starting with "I'm a sad excuse of a human being." This is good. This is good, like identity lyricism.
I love that round. He did it at NUE, and I was stood there. I was just I was like jumping across the back of the event, just like, oh my god, this is hilarious. And what was the one? There was one where he talks about like not pork pie, korma and other
Too
stuff.
much Chinese takeaway.
That's it. That one's great as well.
But that's again, that's merging the two worlds, right? It's merging the comedy and the lyrics and incredible beatboxing. We saw the clip that went a bit viral from the Florida battle where Epos was against Stan, and that clip of like the lyrics are actually very amusing, but that routine he goes into is such like power and mind blowing. Like, hardcore. So I'm very excited to see that. But
yeah, man, that's going to be amazing stuff. Lyricism's always something I looked at, like songwriting lyricism. That's like, I have a big, like, two roads in my head when it comes to beatbox. It's like, make a song, battle, and the passion's so high in both and always has been. So yeah, that's kind of just off of what Rupert said. I think merging that is a fun journey. You never know the answer. It's something I'm excited to be able to invest time into developing my show and performance in a new way now. Wildly passionate, looking for the time, and yeah, that'll be fun. That's the plan.
Wicked.
I want to hit bars this year, bro.
Any final thoughts from either of you two on champs, on this event? Anything else you'd like to say?
There'll be some exciting content coming out following the champs. If you want to tell them about any of that, or maybe you don't. Maybe it's a secret.
There will be. I mean, champs is champs, right? There's a lot happening, but more information of that will be coming out for sure. And again, it's the evolution of the event as well, of how we can level up and how we can, make it more of a community and put the UK champs on the map of, being an event. We were always very lucky to have Big support from the European guys. Like we have, Beatbox France, and those guys always come over to support. And obviously this year with the Battle Clock event, we've got international people from all over the world coming. So I'm very excited to see that. And yeah, it's gonna be wicked. So I guess if you haven't got your tickets yet, what you're doing, don't sleep on it. You haven't got long left. It's under 3 weeks to go. You can get your tickets for the 2025 UK Beatbox Championships 20th anniversary Festival of Vocal Arts happening on the 20th and 21st of September 2025 at the Trinity Centre in Bristol. All tickets are available now. You can find them via the link in the chat if you're on the UK Champs chat, and if not, you can visit ukbeatboxchampionships.com, find the link, come and support, buy a ticket. It's going to be amazing. We've not just got the battles, of course, the UK national battle as well as the Battle Clock, the international battle, as Basic said, on both days in the daytime. We have music careers convention, lots of opportunity to further yourself as a beatboxer, as an artist, to talk to experts, hear talks and everything. It's going to be exciting. We're going to be releasing more information on that soon, as well as music equipment and tech playground, where you can we'll have some brands there, including Loopy Pro, who Basic mentioned earlier, partner and supporter this year. We'll have a setup where you can try stuff, see to maybe further your game and further your interest of what you do as a beatboxer, as an artist, and also, of course, get to speak to all these amazing beatboxers who we have. More judges to be released this week. The final set of judges that we've obviously announced: Balance, Styjo, and Inky, who will be judging the new Loop Station format. But we have our solo team, under 18s, and of course the Battle Clock judges to still be announced, as well as all loads of other exciting stuff. So I can't wait. I hope you can't wait. And big up to everyone that's bought a ticket. But those who haven't, if you have bought a ticket, tell your friend, tell your family, tell your neighbor, tell your neighbor's dog to go buy a ticket, because it's one to not be missed out. 20th anniversary UK Champs. Once again, big up to everyone who joined the chat today. Shout out to ABH, to Oxbox, to MC Zany, Bass Ventura, Dilo, Basics, myself, Hobbit. Anything else to say? I think that's a good way
Cheers,
to
Hobbs,
finish
mate.
it.
Smashed it.
Absolutely
See,
nailed
bye-bye.
it.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, everyone. Big up to everyone.
Good
Have
to
a
catch
good
up with
Big
you
up
all
to everyone
again.
in the chat, and we'll see you very soon. But big up, and
See you later, man.
yeah, see you on the 20th and 21st of September.
Goodbye.
Aye.
Big up.
Let's go.